Hello 8th graders. In this IXL video we're going to be taking a look at assignment Y.2, which is on finding the slope from 2 points. So in your previous assignment you had a graph for a linear relationship and you needed to use the graph to find the slope. Now the challenge is the graph is removed and they're only giving you the coordinates or the data points for 2 of the points on that line. So we're going to have to find the slope without the aid of a visual graph. So I've changed my notes a little bit here. For slope, yes, it's y change divided by x change, and we know on a graph the y change is the rise, that's this up and down arrow, and that the x change is the run. When you have just 2 data points, I think it's a little more helpful to think of y change as just the distance from the first y value to the second y value. And we can figure that out with subtraction. So this little algorithm here, or this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 situation, is just telling you how to find how much y changes and how much x changes. So here I'm going to use, as we see, find the slope of a line that passes through 5 and 4 for the first point, and then 7 and 9 for the second point. And I'm going to use my red tool here, give me a second, to put a quick little box around the 2 y coordinates. So we see the first y value is that 4, and then the second y value is that 9. So if we do 9, the second y value, minus 4, the first y value, that tells us right away, hey, the y value here has gone up by 5 units. So I'm going to put a plus 5 in there. The y value has gained 5 units to go from 4 to 9. And at the same time, we're going to have to remove these marks now. We see in blue, the x value goes from 5 to 7. So if I were to take the second x value, 7, and subtract the first x value, 5, that would tell me, hey, to get from 5 to 7, the x value must have gone up or gained 2 units to get from 5 to 7. So that's how I realize or recognize here for this linear graph, every time y gains 5, if it's linear, that means the x must be following the same pattern. Plus 2 for x every time y gains 5 units. So that's our slope, that's what we'll be putting in here. And we'll show a couple more examples here. So for our next situation, we have 9 for x and 6 for y, and then it travels to 2 for x and 14 for y. So the first thing, again, we're going to focus on here is our y situation. And the y value goes from 6 to 14. And I know 14 minus 6 is 8, and that's kind of what helped my brain figure out right away. In this case, the y value has gained 8 units, and we're still not sure what's happened to the x value. So y goes from 6 to 14. If I don't know that's up by 8, I could do 14 minus 6 to realize that y has gained 8. And now we also need to focus on the x value. So I'm going to put a blue rectangle around those. The x value goes from 9 in the beginning to 2 at the end. And this is where order becomes important. If we go from 9 to 2, we've actually decreased. So even though the y is getting bigger, the x is getting smaller. I'm going to put a negative sign there right away. And I know to go from 9 to 2, I must have gone down by 7 units. 2 minus 9 would give me negative 7. And so that kind of tells me, oh, to get from 9 to 2, I've lost 7. I haven't gained 7, I've lost 7. So this is our first real negative slope here. The y is gaining 8 units, but the x value is losing 7 units. So if we have a line passing through those 2 points, we would say the slope is negative 8 over 7. The y is going to lose 8 every time the x gains 7. And you'll notice there, and we could go ahead and test, we'll see what happens, I did flip the negative sign. I know a positive divided by a negative is always going to produce a negative answer, so I just put the negative sign right up with that 8. Negative divided by a positive is the same thing. And the reason I did that, we're going to test. If I did 8 over negative 7, I don't think IXL will mark that. IXL is going to mark that right. But standard form would probably be negative 8 over 7 when we simplify at the end. We'll show you one more example, but we think you have what you need to be doing the rest of this assignment. So for this next example, we see it goes from 2 and 1, x is 2, y is 1, and then the new data point, the second data point our line passes through is going to be 9 for x and 7 for y. So as I focus first on my y change always, remember it's y change in the top, and that's why I'm choosing the y value measurement first. Y is going from positive 1 to positive 7. So in this case, the y value has gained 6 units. It's gone up by 6. We don't know the x, so I'm going to put a question mark there yet. The x change, it goes from 2 to 9. So we will clean up and show that. The x value starts out at positive 2, then it finishes at positive 9. To get from 2 to 9, if I don't know that's plus 7, I could just do 9 minus 2, take this x value, 9, and subtract the original one, 2. That would tell us, hey, the x value gained 7, and during that time, the y value also went up, but only by 6 units. So that gives us our slope of 6 over 7. We hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, if you're getting stuck, please, as always, feel free to send me an email. And again, that email address, which we'll put on the screen for you, is ddoherty3. And as always, that's at bostonpublicschools.org. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Keep up the great IXL work.